Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Partnership Lake Houston Summer Creek BizCom. I'm Dwayne Johnston, the owner of Chick-fil-A Wilson Road Beltway 8 and the 2020 chair of Summer Creek BizCom. For our Zoom guests, you will notice that once again you're muted, and all the guests will remain muted throughout the program. If you have any questions or need assistance, you probably know where that Q&A button's at. It's down there at the bottom. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, you can submit a question in the comment section, and we'll submit that in the Zoom meeting platform for our speakers. Today, we're going to hear some updates from Mike Miller, the VP of Ashlar Development, who will be providing updates on the grows and the commercial development in the area. Amy Franks and Margaret Cruz of the Women's Council of Realtors will be discussing the current real estate climate and trends here in the Lake Houston area. Juan Cardoza of the Office of Harris County Commissioner Rodney Ellis is going to share some transportation updates from the precinct. Monica Levitz is the GM of the Blue Lagoon Bar and Grill, going to give us a peek at our first-of-a-kind restaurant over by the crystal clear waters of the lagoon in the Balmoral development. And the superintendent, Dr. Elizabeth Fagan, and Paul Edwards of Humble ISD will give us updates from the district and elementary school number 30 that's going to be over in the Fall Creek area. Of course, we have to have our sponsors to make programs like BizCom available for our members and our greater Lake Houston area community. Summer Creek BizCom sponsors include our presenting sponsors, Memorial Hermann Northeast, our gold sponsors, Chick-fil-A Wilson Road Beltway 8, HEB Summerwood, K&S Sportswear, McCord Development and Generation Park, our silver sponsors, Jimerson Tax and Accounting LLC CPA, MD Anderson Cancer Centers, and PostNet Summer Creek. If your business is interested in being a sponsor, please contact the Partnership Lake Houston to let us know. Your sponsorship funds support the efforts of Partnership Lake Houston, which enables us to help businesses recover and succeed. Now, more than ever, small businesses need the help, resources, and guidance the partnership provides. If your business has not been negatively impacted by the pandemic, please consider sponsoring a program or even sponsoring a membership for a small business. Our presenting sponsors, Memorial Hermann Northeast. To start things off, we're going to hear from Nikki Rue, the VP of Operations of Memorial Hermann Northeast.
Good morning and welcome to Partnership Lake Houston's virtual BizCom. Memorial Hermann Northeast is proud to provide support as a co-sponsor for this session. My name is Nikki Rue and I serve as the Vice President of Operations at the Northeast Campus. Having served 5 years as the CNO of Northeast, I am pleased to be able to continue my leadership role in the community in which I work and reside during a time of unprecedented challenges and growth. The healthcare needs of the growing communities we serve are always the driving force behind expansion and enhancement projects, such as the renovation of our GI lab and a Women's Center enhancement project. Our primary goal is the improvement of the health and lives of the people who depend on us now and for years to come with quality, patient-centered services and infrastructure. Throughout this challenging year, it is because of the exceptional hard work, passion, and collaboration of our team healthcare heroes that we are able to provide the highest quality care to our patients. We are forever grateful to them for their sacrifices and in awe of their strength. We aren't the only ones who have taken notice. This year, Mazda is celebrating their 100th anniversary by honoring the human spirit and giving back to those who've selflessly given their all to their community. Out of thousands of submissions, we are so pleased that one of our very own healthcare heroes was selected as a top 10 finalist. Before I share her story, I'd like to wish you and your loved ones a safe and happy holiday season on behalf of the team at Memorial Hermann Northeast. As we move into a new and hopefully better year, we wish you the endurance, strength, and good health to overcome any challenges and begin anew. Thank you.
He's supposed to do a video.
Memorial Hermann ICU.
Dear Mazda, I want to tell you about my husband's agonizing 30-day journey through COVID that I documented in a journal, and the guardian angel ICU nurse, Christy Proviance, who I'm so proud to present as a Mazda Hero nominee. Day 1. In less than 24 hours, he was gasping for air and placed on a ventilator.
He was admitted here COVID positive, shortness of breath, fever. He's on a vent, 7.5.
At the time, 9 out of 10 on a ventilator were dying.
I know this is probably really hard for you. I don't know if you can really understand what I'm saying.
Day 4. His doctor said he's getting worse. His kidney and his liver began failing,
I'll put a blood pressure cuff on you.
and his heart went into AFib. He was as close to death as you could possibly get. It got so bad, our caseworker's advice on how to help him was to pray. Then on day 10, I met Christy. How did Christy stand out?
Hi, Mr. Watkins.
You have the biggest cheerleaders on the unit. We have been praying for you every day.
Although I wasn't allowed to be physically in the room with my husband,
So I can't wait to meet you when you can talk, and I'll be here. You got this.
Christy looked after him as if he was one of her own family. Day 19, Christy told me he's doing well.
Now let's try your right foot.
For the first time, he responded to her commands.
Wonderful.
She asked him,
Can you blink for me?
and he blinked.
Good.
She asked him,
Can you squeeze my hand?
and he did.
Very good.
After 18 days on a ventilator, my love came off the vent.
I have your wife and kids on Zoom to see you.
I love you.
After 30 long days in the hospital, the love of my life was well enough to be rolled out of those ER doors and into my loving arms. Christy shared with me that she was isolating from her 7-month-old baby and family so she could continue to care for COVID patients and my husband.
Look at you. Hi. Oh my gosh, he looks so big.
Dear Christy, thank you for being you and for being brave and for being a kind, patient, and caring servant to others. And it would be an honor to one day meet you. Sincerely yours, Cindy Watkins.
Now I'm gonna wait for you to introduce me.
Hi.
Hey,
You recognize him. I didn't know if you would remember me.
Of course.
Or recognize me.
Yes.
But I'm Cindy.
It's so nice
And
to
this
meet
is
you.
Maurice.
I've been praying that one day we would all be able to meet. You're that silver lining that we all needed to keep us strong, to help us get through this. Just meeting you and being able to take home this memory is all I could ever want because you're a survivor. I just cannot believe I'm seeing you right now. Like,
I gotta say my piece. I just want to thank you for, and I'm fighting it back. So I'm actually standing here with somebody that helped save my life. And you don't know it, but that's huge. I didn't realize the full impact till after I got out and read her notes and talked to her, and people like yourself is what makes this world go around. Christy, thank you so much for saving my life.
It is the greatest honor for me to get to meet you. You're my hero. And your sister, Heather, she nominated you for the Mazda Hero. And I am here to tell you that you won. You're the winner of a Mazda MX-5 Miata. You deserve it. You deserve it and so much more.
is this real?
Do you want to see your car?
Yes.
What are we waiting on?
Oh my God.
All right, now I'm gonna have a little fun with this. We're gonna do a countdown. Okay? 3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I think we're as tickled as you are.
I didn't even know like this actually happened.
Wow.
It does to good people.
Thank you, Memorial Hermann Northeast, for being a sponsor. And thank you for Christine and all the workers there for everything you do for our community. Our next speaker is with Ashlar Development. It's Mike Miller. He's a vice president, and he was nominated for Developer of the Year in the 2020 Agents' Choice Awards. Welcome, Mike.
Hi there, how are you today?
We're great.
Let me get back to slide 1 here. Unfortunately, give me 1 second. Oh, sorry, technical difficulty. I thought I was on slide 1, but it wasn't.
We had it for a second trying to get.
Yep. All right, let me try that again here. All right, I don't know how I followed that up. That's such an incredibly touching story, but anyways, as Dwayne mentioned, I'm Mike Miller, Vice President of Houston for Ashlar Development. So we are the developer of the Groves community up in the Atascocita market area. Let me switch out of full screen mode. There we go. So anyways, as everyone's kind of had their challenges in 2020, we've actually found quite a bit of success in 2020 out at the Groves. As of November 30th, we had 380 homes sold this year, which puts us right about 400 on pace for it at the end of the year. And that's record-breaking home sales for the Groves community. We sold about 350 last year. That puts us about almost 1,100 homes occupied out of 2,200 planned. So we're about halfway there. And we actually took home a couple of awards this year. We took home the Greater Houston Builders Association Rec Center of the Year for the Hearth. And then we're finalists for a number of other awards. We also became a certified wildlife habitat by the National Wildlife Federation. And then also received special recognition from the Houston Galveston Area Council of Parks and Natural Areas Award. And just what an award-winning community that the Groves is. I'm proud to be able to lead a team that takes us really into the next level of design, and the Groves certainly does that. We're also featured in Builder and Developer magazine this past year, which is an incredible honor for our industry kind of nationwide. And they featured us on our kind of developing a naturehood mantra in our Get Outside kind of slogan. And just as everyone had to kind of pivot this year. I think it's been a buzzword this year, but we also pivoted and realized that, with all of our model homes being closed and, sales centers being closed, how do we get people to see the community? So on March 30th, we ended up launching a 360-degree kind of map of the community where you can drop into our major amenity areas and model home areas. You can drop a little pin in and 360-degree view around the area so that you can see the community from afar. You can show your friends and family if you live in the community where you live. And it's just an incredible sales tool that we were able to employ. And then all about our preservation, we wanted to highlight this year. So we on our website, we have a full page dedicated to it, but we do this through reforestation, preservation, creating shelter for animals to enjoy, and water sources, etc. And a couple parks that we brought on this past year. This is an extension of our Madera Creek Trail. This is called a Lungo Mark, kind of wavy bench here. And so that was a great project that we released this year, as well as the field, which is a soccer field and baseball backstop within the community for the kids to enjoy. So finally, Mini Groves. This is a toddler playground version of the community as a whole. It takes our iconic elements at the Groves.
On the actual part for the Social Security, I put
Oh no!
Sorry.
You can't fill that page out. You have to do a new one.
Oh,
You're not supposed to do that. This is only for the employer authorized.
Monica, you can mute, please.
okay. So then here is the.
And so Mini Groves is the toddler playground form of the Groves as a whole. So our iconic elements at the Groves are kind of featured in playground form. So our entry tower is represented with a slide tower and matchbox car track. Our board form entry monumentation is represented with the Mini Grove sign. Our fish camp is represented with the dock area. The blue coming through is Madera Creek. And then the toddler playground area is our fish camp pond. And then on the backside here, you can see a trike track going around. That represents Madera Run Parkway. And it's got child size signage that represents the signage that we have within the community as well. A couple of views of that. You can see the Matchbox car track coming that you can launch your cars and race them down the roller slide. Madera Creek was expanded from Timber Forest Drive almost to Woodland Hills Drive. This is, I believe, our last expansion of Madera Creek. And then we brought a really high-end builder out to the Groves and Toll Brothers. We did an exclusive gated community with them called Canopy at the Groves. And this gated community lifestyle is a big component of the Groves. We have over 100 events for our residents annually, which has been definitely a challenge in 2020, but we found a way to do it. And so this gated section actually gets quarterly events planned just for them. And so we do that with utilization of a park within the gated area called the Yard. And it's very much designed after a beer garden. It's got bocce ball, cornhole, ping pong table, etc. And then we'll have quarterly craft beer tasting or wine tasting or root beer floats for the kids out in the park area. So let's get to the Groves commercial development. A lot of exciting happenings have been occurring this past year that I think a lot of us were very surprised with. So first, Kitty Academy, they actually purchased back in 2019. So they've been developing their new campus. This is over by Groves Elementary School, and this will be complete and ready for the spring of 2021. And here's a rendering of what that finished product will look like. They're nearly finished at this point. We've obviously got a lot of growth in the area. We've got over 1,550 annual home starts within a 3-mile radius. 2019 home sales was about 700 between us and Balmoral. We'll eclipse 1,000 this year between our two projects, which is phenomenal. And so we're sitting here with intersection of Madera Run Parkway and Woodland Hills Drive, and we know that this is a big intersection, and so we've got some great plans for it. And we've got this great community that the Groves, the architectural feel, the woods theme to it, life in the woods, if you will. And so what we tried to do, and this is the Hearth award-winning rec center here. If you haven't visited, please go and check it out. It's pretty neat. And so what we've done is, so we're slowly releasing to the market what we're calling the Glade at the Groves. And this is going to be our commercial development at Madera Run Parkway and Woodland Hills Drive. So just to acclimate you, where you see all the red on the far west, that's kind of the Glade proper area over there. And so I'm going to be talking about what's going on over there. So first we had 8 acres purchased by Westlake Church. They're currently meeting at Kingwood at Kings Harbor. And so they purchased 8 acres and they have a plans for a future campus at that location. This is looking south towards the Beltway. This is the northwest quadrant of the Groves. And then Pavilion at Groves down there, that's over on the southwest quadrant. And they are vertical in all of their buildings there. That's a 318 unit luxury style apartment with their own luxury amenities. And then a rendering of their entry and clubhouse right there. And then really exciting, so Madera Run Parkway and Woodland Hills Drive, at that intersection, we had a grocery site, 15-acre grocery site there. We actually closed this past month with that large grocer on that site. Due to confidentiality, we can't release who that is at this point, but I can tell you it's very exciting for the area. And we think this is going to spur more and more future development out of the Groves and the Glade of the Groves. So with that, I appreciate being extended the invitation to share today. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mike, for that update. And we're excited to see all that development. I know I was personally just recently over there at the Hearth, the Hearth area. It's just gorgeous what you guys have come up with there. Is that something that people that don't live in the community can sign up and use some different things like that? Is there ability for that?
Yeah, so the Hearth is for residents only, but we certainly welcome the visitors if they're interested in purchasing in the community or just seeing the community. We welcome visitors to just come by and check it out and really kind of come experience what it's like to be a resident at the Groves.
I've got a few friends that live in there. They love it. So you guys have done a great job, and we're excited for that commercial development too. Can't wait to hear who those signed people are as soon as you can release that. Thank you so much.
Yep, thanks, Dwayne.
Before we introduce our next speaker, we want to spotlight a couple of our gold sponsors. First of all, we got Chick-fil-A Wilson Road and Beltway 8. We are a proud sponsor of the Partnership Lake Houston Summer Creek BizCom. In case you've not heard yet, you can now order through delivery through our Chick-fil-A app, and one of my amazing team members will bring the order to you. Our other gold sponsors, H-E-B Summerwood. Make your holiday brighter and visit your friendly local Summerwood Market H-E-B. For all your grocery and gift-giving needs, H-E-B is offering free curbside and $5 delivery through December. Times are limited. Online prices may vary from in-store or advertised prices. Our next speakers are from the Lake Houston area's Women's Council of Realtors. They're going to discuss the latest housing market trends and forecasts. Welcome, Amy and Margaret.
Thank you for having us. I'm Amy Franks. I am the current 2021 president for Women's Council of Realtors Lake Houston, and Margaret Cruz is my president-elect for the 2021 year. I'm also the sales executive for Old Republic Title here in Kingwood, and Margaret is a current agent for JLA Atascocita. We really kind of wanted to go over some of the things that the real estate industry has been faced with this year. So it has been a challenging year, I think, for everybody, to say the least. But despite all that COVID has caused in the title and the mortgage and the real estate industry, it's important to remember that we have weathered challenging times before. If history tells us anything, it's often times like this is a facilitator for innovation, growth, and positive change. This time has actually converted the real estate industry to a digital transformation. COVID-19 has pushed us to embrace the change. Before the pandemic, remote online notarization and in-person digital closings were gaining popularity among lenders, title companies, and consumers, but it wasn't widely available. And then when the stay-at-home orders and social distancing guidelines were issued, it became clear that something drastic had to change in order to keep business going. So RON digital closings provided a readily available, non-contact alternative for home buyers and sellers, while digital closings offered them the availability to enjoy faster closings with a limited contact with an escrow officer. So we also saw greater utilization of digital closing platforms that helped consumers save more time, and title companies were able to handle more volume with a paperless based process. So we do foresee an increased adoption of these technologies is likely to continue in our industry. In March, mortgage rates significantly decreased to around 3% on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, and it sparked the largest refinancing boom in 17 years. It really threw, I think, all of us for a loop. We were kind of dealing with COVID, and then the refi started coming in, and the sales continued to just go up, resales in our area. And I think everybody was getting to the point they were starting to work on overtime. So Fannie Mae even recently estimated that refis are going to generate $2.4 trillion in originations this year alone. So with refinancing at historical low rates, we can potentially help homeowners shave off hundreds of dollars off their monthly mortgage. It also allows them to continue building wealth when they actually need it the most. So with interest rates expected to remain low throughout 2021, refis are keeping businesses strong for lenders, title companies, and others involved in the refinancing process. When the pandemic hit just 2 weeks before the first quarter ended, the real estate industry braced for an awful second quarter, and we were all breathing a sigh of relief by June. The summer surge of existing home sales likely stems from pent-up demand and record low interest rates. It is also a testament to our industry alone. Title companies and real estate professionals who adapted quickly and who have served without hesitation throughout the pandemic. So according to the National Association of Realtors, October 2020 brought $6.85 million in sales. a median sales price of $313,000, and 2.5 months of inventory. Home values are accelerating more quickly than any time since 2004. The housing market is actually taking us back to economics 101 and teaching us lessons about supply and demand. Many sellers are seeing their homes go under contract in record time, suggesting the continued demand in our area. And we can all take pride in the role that residential housing sector has and continues to play in advancing the economic recovery. Despite everything that 2020 keeps throwing our way, it is important to remember this too shall pass. Until it does, we can seize opportunities that will lead to a brighter future in our real estate industry. Margaret?
As Amy mentioned, there's been so much uncertainty here in 2021. So with this uncertainty in the real estate market across the country, I can see why we need reassurance of what the market's doing in our local area. So home buyers have been spurred by historic low mortgage rates, requesting more space due to much of the American workforce working from home. And also the kids are doing virtual learning, so that there brings people up with need more space.
Margaret?
Yes, sir.
Margaret, excuse me. If you could speak up just a little bit, or you guys want to turn your microphone towards Margaret. We're having a hard time hearing you, Margaret. Okay. Thank you so much. Sorry.
She may have to start over.
Yeah, you may want to start over there a little bit.
Sure. So with so much uncertainty in our real estate market across the country, we can see why we need more reassurance as to what's going on in our local market. With kids and people working from home, home buyers are requesting more space. Therefore, we're seeing multiple offer situations in properties under $250,000 and below. So resale properties are going under contract so fast that we're looking into new construction because we just can't get them fast enough. So a little bit more about the Houston area. The Lake Houston area has 2 out of the top 30 master plan communities in Texas. So one of them being the Groves and the other one being Balmoral. The Groves, as mentioned earlier, experienced record-breaking sales. Also in the 77346 zip code area, this time last year, there's been a 33% increase in home sales with a 17% increase in value. So home sales increase in 5 out of 7 Lake Houston zip codes, which is huge despite the pandemic. So forecasting really has never been easy, especially with the pandemic, a rocky presidential election, and a potential recession. We don't know. So the forecast given today is pretty much subject to change. And we will learn more as more information is given to us. So projecting for the 2021, Lake Houston area is a very diverse microeconomy, meaning that we are tied more to local supply and demand versus national supply and demand. With our growing household and increasing housing developments, I think we will continue to see a robust housing market for 2021. With some key factors, such as Generation Park as one of the largest master plan business parks in the US under development. There's going to be incoming commercial development along the 99 corridor, which will increase traffic. And also the expansion of FM 2100, which we're going to see more Fortune 500 companies calling the Houston area home. All of this growth and expansion is going to bring in more master plan communities and an increase our economic development. So all in all, I would say, given the amount of uncertainty heading into 2021, we will continue to monitor what the housing fundamentals are going to be, and we will adjust our forecast accordingly. Thank you.
I would like to add something. I did have a meeting with a local brokerage. They're actually a national brokerage, but I did go to the local brokerage here in our area yesterday. And they said from December of 2019 to December, this December of 2020, they had a 30% increase in closed units in just in 1 year, and even dealing with a pandemic. Contracts written up from December 2019 to current was a 64.5% increase. That's just it's unbelievable. So where we're heading in the real estate market right now and in this industry is it's kind of amazing that we've just stayed kind of steady as long as we have under the situations that we've been dealing with. So I think that's all that we have today. Thank y'all very much for allowing us to be a part of this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, ladies. We do have one quick question that came across. A lot of us are seeing a lot of investment or fixing things up and improving properties going on. A lot of fence repairs and things like that. Is y'all's forecast, is it wise to continue to do those kind of things? I know somebody reached out and asked kind of questions that, if you're home a lot, I think that's what's happening. If people are home a lot and they're seeing that their house needs a little love on it, right? And would you guys would y'all suggest that people continue to do those kind of things as you just never know what's going to happen with the markets coming forward?
Oh yes, 100%. I mean, if you're, making any type of improvements to a property, that's the great thing. One of the things that we have discussed in the past, dealing with all of this, is we did realize we were going to see a spike in people. And I think Margaret had mentioned that, when we were in the lockdown, people are home. They're there with their children. The empty nesters are home. So they're starting to realize, especially like empty nesters, why don't we go ahead and downsize? The people that may have a growing family, we do need another bedroom. And it's not if this is going to happen again, it's when it's going to happen again. So people that are now working from home, they need more of a home office. People, when the gyms were closed, they're starting to realize maybe I need additional room to put a home gym in. So you are going to see a lot of people that are going to be downsizing or people that are going to be upgrading. So.
And I do think that fixing up your home is a very good idea right now, because all you're doing is adding value, and that makes it easier to sell.
Say that one more time. Turn the microphone again. What did you say, Margaret? Sorry.
I said that fixing your property is actually a very good idea regardless, because it adds value to your property and you can sell for more, especially in the market right now where when we have an abundance of buyers, and you can sell your property for market price or more.
Well, great. Thank you guys so much for that update. And it's exciting to see everything that's going on in our area. Thanks again for giving us the time today and those updates.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have Juan Cardoza with the Harris County Commissioner Rodney Ellis's office. He's got some updates for us about some transportation things and what's going on, Juan?
Yes, thanks, Dwayne. Again, my name is Juan Cardoza-Oquendo. I'm a Community Engagement Coordinator for Harris County Precinct 1 Commissioner Rodney Ellis. I'm the liaison for the Lake Houston, Sheldon, East Houston, and North Channel areas. And I wanted to talk to you all today about some transportation and infrastructure improvements, and also some updates from what the county is doing to respond to COVID-19. So first off, on transportation improvements. So in Summerwood, the precinct has partnered with a few of the MUD districts in Summerwood to construct nearly 2 miles of sidewalks on both sides of West Lake Houston from Beltway 8 to Broncroft Court. Phase 1 is complete and phase 2 is in the design stage. Then also along those lines of pedestrian safety, Precinct 1 installed the first of its kind 3D crosswalk on Summerwood Lakes Drive. And what makes it unique is that maybe some of y'all have driven across it. It creates an optical illusion that helps slow traffic and, of course, will help keep pedestrians safe. The next set of transportation and infrastructure improvements that I wanted to talk to you all about, some improvements at Dewson and Eisenhower Parks. So 2 improvements that have already been completed is that the precinct rehabilitated and rebuilt the T-pier at Dewson. So now it has docking capacity for about 20 to 25 boats. And then we've also added 4 bike share stations, B-cycle bike share stations in Dewson and Eisenhower Parks. So no need to take a bike over there. You can just arrive and rent a bike and bike around the parks. So next up is some improvements that are in the works, that are upcoming. And I won't go into the details of timeline and everything. If folks want to know about timeline, I'm happy to answer questions. Feel free to contact me. But the first set of improvements has to do with Timber Forest Drive. So the precinct is in the process of extending Timber Forest Drive from Lakewood Pines to south of Greens Road. So it's across the railroad track. So we're gonna construct a 4-lane bridge over the railroad tracks. We're also gonna be building a trail along Dewson Parkway so that folks can walk and bike from Summerwood and the Summer Creek area all the way to Dewson Park. We're also gonna install some new street lighting along Dewson Parkway. In addition to that, we're going to be repairing and replacing the boardwalk at Dewson Park, constructing a bike bridge between Dewson and Eisenhower Parks. And then back to Timber Forest Drive, we're extending Tim Forest Drive north of West Lake Houston to south of Lakewood Pines Boulevard. So those are the transportation and infrastructure improvements that are in the works for the area. In terms of COVID-19 and what the county is doing, so the county has a total of 10 COVID-19 testing sites. Those are testing sites outside of the city of Houston. It's 4 per precinct, and then 4 that move around according to where public health is seeing there are hotspots for the virus. And I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Want to show you all where you can see. You can go to Harris County Public Health. On the homepage, there's testing sites, and you can find a testing site here. And in addition to that, so there's those testing sites available for folks. In addition to that, public health, the county is encouraging folks to, now that we're coming up on the holidays, to avoid gatherings if possible, and to keep gathering small if you are going to gather, and avoid mixing households. So that's it for my update. You know, we have several improvements on Dewson and Eisenhower Parks in the works. In Summerwood, we installed some sidewalks, the first phase of sidewalks, and phase 2 is in the design stage. And we're also going to be extending Timber Forest Drive on several locations. And finally, with COVID-19, make sure that you know about the county's testing sites. You can go to their website, and you know, public health and our office is encouraging folks to do our part, avoid gatherings if possible, and if not, keep gathering small to curb the spread of COVID-19. And lastly, I wanted to share my contact info with folks. This is my email and my cell phone. I'll leave it up there for a few seconds. Feel free. I'm your connection to county government and to Precinct 1. So please give me a call, email me, and I can connect you, answer any questions related to county government.
Thank you so much, Juan. One question about the bikes there, those are the e-bikes. Is that like you swipe a card or rent it kind of thing? It's kind of like those ones down you might see in town somewhere, I would imagine, but some of us out here in the suburbs may have not been down there. So could you explain those real briefly again?
Yeah. So I don't know the details, but yes, I'm pretty sure you can pay with a card, with a credit card, or through your phone if you download the BeCycle app. That's the name of the organization, BeCycle. So it's pretty easy, and yeah, it's similar to what you see around the city of Houston, closer into the city. So yeah, it's really easy to use.
Great, that's exciting, and all the developments there. I know I've been to the park multiple times with my family trying to get out and be in nature. So we love the updates. Thank you so much. And again, we appreciate your time, everything you're doing for the county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we introduce our next speaker, I want to spotlight a couple more gold sponsors. We have K&S Sportswear as one of our gold sponsors. It's celebrating their 25th anniversary this year. Whether your school needs t-shirts or your business needs polo shirts and hats, K&S can help you. They also can assist with your PPE needs, from masks, hand sanitizer, wipes, and more. K&S Sportswear is located right on 1960 in Atascocita, and they'd love for you to shop local. McCord Development Generation Park. 'Tis the season for holiday movie nights and holiday market. Every Saturday through January 2nd, Generation Park is showing a different holiday movie at 7 p.m. Stop by the holiday market on Thursday, December 17th from 4 to 8. You can come and sip and stroll and support local businesses. You can see generationpark.com for more details. Our next speaker is Monica, and she is the GM of the Blue Lagoon Bar and Grill. Monica, can you share with us what's going to be unique about this restaurant?
Hi guys, I'm Monica. So what's going to be unique about this is going to be the first restaurant in a crystal clear lagoon. And it's not only just for the residents, we have it open to the public as well. So they'll be able to come in as they want and kind of check everything out. So let me flip this around and show you the restaurant. So the glare's kind of bad. So as you come in, you've got this beautiful restaurant. We have seating. It's very nice and spaced out. Have it by our lovely Christmas tree. This is our inside seating. And then we go into our bar, and we have a lounge area as well. So you can come in, relax, have your cocktails. And then I have my staff here. I have Monty and Cindy, one of my managers. And so I started to tempt you guys. I know you're probably very hungry, but we have our chicken and waffles. And so this is our honey maple syrup that we pour over the chicken and waffles over our cheese grits. And then we have
right here, we got our bruschetta capri. It's a garlic flatbread with 4 different cheeses: Romano, ricotta, Parmesan, mozzarella, olive oil, basil, cherry tomatoes on top, cut up very nicely. Blueberry cheesecake. Right here, we have our kahuna burger.
And then we have a couple cocktails for you guys as well. So we have our peanut butter old fashioned. It's made with screwball peanut butter whiskey, rye, and a little bit of chocolate bitters. And then we also have our featured cocktail, the Blue Lagoon Martini. Obviously beautiful and blue like our lagoon. And then I'm going to sneak you guys outside to the lagoon. We are doing a little bit of construction right now. We're doing the round, so you get to come out, dine out here. I mean, how much more photogenic could it be? So do you guys have any questions for me?
Wow.
Open to the public.
So you said it's open to the public. Do you have hours and when do you
Yes.
are open?
So we are open Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
And we'll have our grand opening will be January 29th through the 31st. So we have a whole big event coming then as well.
Exciting. I'm a foodie. I don't just eat Chick-fil-A, so I love to try other things. So that look delicious, and I know you'll probably see me come in there with my family. So, all right.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you for those updates.
We do recommend going to our website, bluelagoonbargrill.com, to see the full menu. And then we also have reservations that way. We do recommend reservations for social distancing and to guarantee that you have a table. We were completely booked last Friday, so definitely don't want somebody coming out and not being able to get dinner. So.
Absolutely. Thank you for that update, and we'll make sure to share that with everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again. All right, our next speaker, Dr. Fagan and Paul Edwards from Humble ISD, giving us a good update about what's going on with the district and the new elementary school. Good morning, Dr. Fagan.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. What great acts to follow. I have to say, this is I'm so proud of our entire community as I'm watching all of these presentations, whether it's housing, healthcare, education, small business, and otherwise. How fortunate we are to be in such a quality community where everything is so innovative and excellent and intertwined in each other. So it's a great time to be in Humble ISD, and we certainly appreciate the Groves and all of the other developments generating all of those students for us. As a fast growth school district, we know that your quality work creates more quality work for us. So we appreciate that. Okay, so I was just going to provide a little bit of an update on some things Humble ISD, and then of course introduce one of our newest members of the Humble ISD family, Mr. Paul Edwards, who is the new principal for Elementary School 30, which is located in Fall Creek. But first, I'm going to share just a few things about Humble ISD with everybody, just so be all on the same page. Okay, here we go. So as you all know, in the fall, there was a lot of uncertainty, not just in Humble ISD, but everywhere. And Humble ISD made a commitment to empowering each and every family to work with healthcare professionals, all of the data and information we could share to make the very best decision for themselves and for their own children as far as their educational environment goes. And we are very proud of the way that this has worked out, as our students have continually chosen the very best environment for them. And we have a vast majority of our students who are back on campus, but many students who are thriving online. So about 70% back fully on campus, and the others enjoying a different experience. And one of the things unique about Humble ISD, I think, and I know there are some districts that do this, but we do offer online learning plus what we call UIL, and those are all of those fine arts and athletic opportunities that are sanctioned by the UIL. Our year-over-year enrollment is up. You may have seen in the news that some districts are concerned because their year-over-year enrollment is down, and they have lost anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 students. And so there's a lot of conversation about that, and I'm very proud of us. I'm proud of our staff, our community, our students, because we are up in our enrollment. In addition to that, our students are attending. Our ADA, or average daily attendance, is very stable. A lot of districts have shown huge declines in ADA, and why they're so concerned is that when your enrollment's down, your ADA is down, your funding is going to go down also. And when you budget a few months in advance of your year, you hire all your staff, you prepare all your classrooms, your bus drivers, your routes, all of those things. You have to have a budget that meets those needs and the staffing that you've done. But when you have your student enrollment go down, your ADA go down unexpectedly through a pandemic, it's very difficult to get within what could be your budget. But Humble ISD is not in that circumstance. We're very strong in both enrollment and ADA. Another thing that was a concern was that in some districts, They reported that children just weren't filling out their free and reduced lunch applications, and this has implications on Title I funding, Comp Ed funding, and many other things. And the Texas Department of Agriculture has been very generous this year and allows all of our students to eat for free through December. When that is the case, though, a lot of students don't fill out the forms because they don't need to. But fortunately for us, that is not the case for us, and we have students who are filling out the forms, and we're in good shape. The other thing is we started the year with a lot of uncertainty about what would happen when we bring a lot of students back to school. And we had health experts at Baylor and University of Texas tell us that for young children, that it's very unlikely that child to child it will spread, or that child to adult it will spread. But they did tell us that adult to adult was a concern, and also it's possible adult to child. Certainly it's possible for child to child, but they said the younger children, just the data were not showing that that was a huge concern. And we've seen that bear itself out when you consider the fact that, we have what will be 30 elementary schools, and we're doing very well with our COVID numbers as far as active cases. This is one chart, here's another. And I might remind everyone that we are functioning under the governor's order, which requires everyone 10 and older to wear masks, but 9 and under do not. And we haven't seen that really manifest itself into any kind of an issue at all for our staff, students, campuses, or districts. So it's been a very positive experience for us. We do not see classroom spread, not even at the middle and high schools. We've had some one-off events like Halloween parties at Summer Creek High School, and a few things like that where community spread events do bring cases to us. But the good news is our families have been very responsible. And when their children, they have symptoms or they believe they've been in close contact, they've been availing themselves to testing options and making sure that they're making quality decisions for all of us. And so these are really low numbers, though, when you're looking at the surge, that we're seeing in all of the media. And so we're very happy about that. We're happy about it at all levels. These are our high schools where folks really were concerned and believed that we would have tremendous amounts of spread, and that just simply hasn't been the case. When you think about the number of people that are associated with Atascocita High School alone, only 16 student cases, 3 staff cases at this time. Here's our matrix, and we developed this at the beginning of the year with very little information, but we thought we needed to be monitoring community spread. And so our number one focus was to partner with our healthcare systems and make sure that we were not contributing to stress on their systems. That was our number one priority in building this, was to monitor the community spread so that we did not put extra pressure on our 2 main hospitals in Humble ISD. And the matrix is currently yellow, which is district-wide caution. And we had used an A/B schedule at the beginning of the year for a staggered start, but that schedule did not really prove to be something that our students or our staff really found to be that valuable. And the fact that we don't have classroom spread issues, we really don't need an A/B schedule to create additional social distancing. So we're in caution, and we know this, and we're paying attention to the data. We're in contact with our hospital partners, and we will continue to monitor. But our goal all this year and all the time in Humble ISD is to do what is best for students. That is simply our number one thing. And sometimes it's really difficult for the adults, but we don't stop. We go ahead and move forward anyway, like letting parents change their mind any day they want about online versus in person. That's certainly more complicated for us, but we are committed to it because we know it's best for our students. So having campuses open is also best for most students. And therefore, we are very committed to doing everything we can do to ensure that our students have access to their teachers, to their social development with their peers, their fine arts programs, their career and tech programs, their athletic programs, all of those things that are so important to them and the experience that they want to have at school. You've probably seen a lot of these, but I want to share them because at the beginning of the year, we knew in our hearts that having school open so that children have access to meals and to teachers, that they have access to counselors and nurses, we knew that those were critically important. We understand our role in the community. But what we didn't know is that, number one, that spread would remain low in schools even with a state surge. We didn't know that. And we also really didn't have the evidence or data to show that at the end of the day, school closure is actually much more risky for most children than the actual virus itself. And so we've had to pay a lot of attention to this piece about the mental health impact, the fact that school systems are the #1 reporters of child abuse. There's a lot of things that have to be considered in this big landscape. And so I'm actually quite happy to see so many news and media outlets coming around to this, because this wasn't the tone when we opened, and now it is the tone that that school closures are detrimental to children. UNICEF calls it a lost generation, and in addition to that, seem ineffective as far as controlling spread. And so this is the chart we've used as sort of I mentioned having the opportunity to meet with Baylor and University of Texas colleges of medicine prior to, right at the beginning of the year. And they sort of gave us this little heat map, and we've really worked hard to create outdoor spaces, open windows on buses, making sure that ventilation is all that we can offer, because at the end of the day, this is where it's at. This is what we've learned from our own data, is that when you have an air handler go down, or when you're in a closed bus for 4 hours, then you're going to have more spread than any other scenario. And so we've used this, and we've really worked hard to make sure that we have safe spaces for our students and our staff, frankly. The last thing I want to share before I introduce Principal Edwards is the 2018 bond progress. We're so proud of the work that's been done here. A lot of folks pulled back on bond work when the COVID spread began. We did not. We pushed forward. When we built Centennial Elementary School, the original bid on that was right at budget, a little bit over. But once we saw the economic shift that was mentioned by the folks from the Realtors and others, we saw that we could save our taxpayers a lot of money if we would move forward efficiently with our projects. And that's exactly what's happened. We have refinanced our bonds and saved millions of dollars in interest, and we've moved our projects out, and nearly every one of them has come in well under budget. You've probably seen the 3rd gym at Summer Creek going up. Beautiful facility, very excited for them to have. Here are the elementary multi-purpose rooms that we're in the process of building that Fall Creek and Summerwood elementary schools will have. This is to make sure that they have a gym-like space, because Groves does and Ridge Creek does, is part of our new sort of load set at a building. And so we want to make sure that our existing buildings have them also. Middle School 10 is going up right there next to Ridge Creek in Balmoral as we speak. It is a copy of Westlake, but it's got everything we learned about Westlake. So it's version 2.0, and we're very excited about this. We're about a year and a half away of this opening in 2022. This will be, and you may have heard this from the board meeting, Guyam Sconzo Early College High School, also known as Quest. We will be building them their permanent home right on Will Clayton Parkway, and renovating Humble High School with a $35 million renovation to bring it to modern standards. Some of our next bond projects include potentially a new Foster Elementary School, second gyms at our middle schools that do not have them, because Westlake, Middle School 10 both will, Early Childhood Center, to take some of the capacity and needs off of particular areas of our community where we have a lot of interest in early childhood, but that really squeezes our elementary schools. Virtual learning studios and pods. This is sort of modern day children's museum, modern day learning things that we need spaces for. Daylighting in a lot of our campuses that simply don't have windows. Ross Sterling Middle School is another campus that's up for consideration for a rebuild, and then some pretty significant elementary updates. Also in the works that I'm very proud of and excited about. I said this to the board on Tuesday night, just want to say it to all of you. You know, in a COVID year, we could say, oh, geez, that's all we can do. We're maxed out. We can't continue forward with any sort of the innovative side of things. But that has not been Humble ISD, and that is not who we were this year. Next year, we will launch a middle school career and technology exploratory wheel. Well, 6th graders will have 4-week sections where they get to explore different career paths, everything from architecture to computer programming. automotive and hospitality like culinary. So they will have all these opportunities as sixth graders so that when they choose their courses in seventh, eighth, and beyond, they are much more adept at knowing, yes, I loved architecture. No, I did not love health sciences. Whatever the case may be, we want them to be excited about what we're doing, and we want them to be plugged into the pathways that are about their dreams and their goals. We are in the process of designing and building Humble ISD Virtual Learning 2.0. That's exciting. Personalized counseling programs where every single student will meet with their counselor at least once a year, going through all of their college and career military planning, but also working through any kinds of personal mental health or social issues that we can support them better on. We are doing free student COVID testing. As you probably know, those are rapid tests. So we just issue a little bit of caution on that because we know there are some false positive issues with rapid tests, but they were provided to us by TEA and we thought it was ultra convenient for our families and we wanted to just help them out. But we do encourage if a positive test to be followed up with a PCR test. We have on the way, we ordered at the beginning of the year over 4,000, almost 5,000 devices for our online learners and our classrooms, and we just ordered another 6,000. They will be here by the end of December, so we can replenish those in all of our classrooms. We're already building our budget for next year, and we have really upped our game with our partnership with Lone Star College, so we're very excited about all these things that we're doing for students. Those are those career clusters I mentioned a minute ago that our sixth graders will have the opportunity to explore next year. As a new exploratory wheel in middle school, which is very exciting. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing mine and I'm going to introduce our new principal for Elementary School 30 located in Fall Creek, part of that rapid growth down there, Mr. Paul Edwards.
Thank you, Dr. Fagan. I appreciate it. I incidentally am a returning Summer Creek Bulldog. I was associate principal through 2013, and I'm excited to return in this new role. So Elementary 30, this is a picture of the outside. Let's go to the next one. I want to talk about my family first because we have a big crazy family. This is me with my 5 sons. Yes, that is 5 sons. 4 of them go to Summer Creek High School and 1 of them is at Wood Creek. From left to right, that's Samuel, Josiah in the front, my wife Amanda, Zachary, Elijah, and Isaiah. We did adopt a sibling group back in 2011. And so we are all part of the big same family. Where are we located? You can see here, it's highlighted in red on the screen. We are on the east end of Fall Creek and we are right next to Garner's Bayou. We'll be built behind a big apartment complex there. You can actually see us if you're headed east on the Beltway. So look off to your right and you'll see all of the construction going on. This was a very big moment for me. This was the day of our groundbreaking, very heartful moment. And you could see the progress had already been significant at that point. But let me show you what it looks like as of yesterday. Look at us. We got a roof. We've got bricks going up. It's looking really, really good. Construction is on schedule. And the building is going to be absolutely beautiful. Where are we taking students? Well, you see that we've labeled Ridge Creek Elementary and Fall Creek Elementary. So we are going to take several hundred students from both of these schools to open our school next year. And of course, this is in the area where so much growth is occurring. So we are positioned to be able to handle that. You heard it here first. The #1 question I get, what's your name going to be? These are 2 of them that are being tossed around right now, Autumn Creek Elementary School and Stony Creek Elementary School. We are going to actually send a survey out to our community to see what they think and to vote on that as well as our colors. And you can see I'm wearing a tie that is orange and blue today. So you can see where I land, but we will either be the Great Horned Owls or the Hawks. So I'm very excited regardless of what the decision is. This is a view of our beautiful lobby. When you first walk into our school, you're going to see this magnificent tree there that leads into the library. It's going to be an incredible, incredible place. This will not look like any elementary school you've ever seen. But of course, we will be about excellent teaching. You are going to hear about us with regard to STEM education and STEM teaching, problem solving with kids. And one thing that I want us to be known for is developing leadership in our kids and in our staff. So We are very much going to invest heavily in that next year, as well as just building unity. When you take kids from two schools, we want to build a culture that is ours and ours alone. So I'm very excited about that challenge. We will open in August of 2021. Now, partnership. I can tell you, you can be the hero for the day if you bring food to our staff. We will have staff meetings, of course, as we get closer and closer to opening. Would love to give you some FaceTime with them and bring some food, and you can talk to them and things like that. But I would actually like to go much further than that. My question for you would be, what do you bring to the table? What skills, what abilities, what passions? Would love to sit down and talk to you about that, just to see what you might want to bring to the school to make our community a better place. So my contact information is up on the screen. You can call or text that number, and I look forward to hearing from you. I would love to grab a cup of coffee with any of y'all sometime soon. So thanks again for the time. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks for that, Paul. And the one last thing I forgot to share with you all, this is huge news, by the way, is that we saved enough money in all of our 2018 bond projects that we are able to build North Belt Elementary School in this bond. And so we have purchased land for them using their multi-purpose room dollars, and we selected their architect Tuesday night, and we are full speed ahead to build a brand new North Belt Elementary School also. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Dr. Fagan and Principal Paul Edwards. I know I'm excited about all those updates. My Chick-fil-A is across the street from you, Paul, and I'll definitely be in touch to help with the staff and things like that. Don't worry, I'll be around. And Dr. Fagan, thank you for your guidance and your leadership along with the board. I think that's what we've heard a lot of today, is about how all the different leaders in our community have done amazing things and have guided the organizations in such a great way. And it kind of teased me up for another little update. Leadership Lake Houston is a program that the Partnership Lake Houston has done for about 9 years now. And I've put 7 people through my organization through that class, and have learned amazing things that they've been able to use and to help our business. But there's many graduates from that program that have gone on and done things in the community and have given back to the community in great ways. And we just kind of want to give a little update to kind of pique people's interest. That we had Paige Sherry, who was in class 4, so many years ago, that came up with this idea after her social services day, and wanted to collect blankets for a lot of the homeless organizations in the area and a lot of the nonprofits. And she started this drive with a goal to do 100 blankets. And that first year she doubled that. And then every year since then, she's continued to grow. Last year, she collected over 1,600 blankets. And this year, even during the pandemic, collected 1,100 blankets this year that went to many local nonprofits that needed blankets for families in need. And there were a lot of families in need this year. And so that's just an example of what someone that goes through the Leadership Lake Houston program can pique their interest and find a passion and step up and do that for their community. And like Dr. Fagan said, that there's so many great people in our community who've done so many great things that we heard from today, that even all the way back to Christy there with the hospital and Memorial Hermann and everything that everybody's doing for the community right now. And so we just wanted to remind people that Leadership Lake Houston will be another program through the partnership again next year at some point when we finalize all of our calendars and things. So look forward to that, and maybe send someone through that program if you can. Well, we want to give a final thank you to our sponsors. Again, our presenting sponsor is Memorial Hermann Northeast. Our gold sponsors were Chick-fil-A, Wilson Road, Beltway 8, HEB Summerwood, K&S Sportswear, and McCord Development Generation Park. And our silver sponsors, Jimerson Tax and Accounting LLC CPA, MD Anderson Cancer Centers, and PostNet Summer Creek. We want to give a special thanks to DNA Studios and Sam Schrade and his staff for producing our virtual BizComs, our luncheons, and our meetings this year. Orchestrating a virtual event like this requires a lot of talent and expertise, and the DNA staff and Sam have done an amazing job for that this year with all that we've had to go do virtually. So we want to give them a big shout and a thumbs up to them. Thank you, guys. A couple final notes. Upcoming events, we have our next BizCom will be Humble BizCom, and that'll be in 2021. It's still going to be held virtually. It's going to be through the Zoom platform like this or the Facebook Live feature. It's going to be Thursday, January 7th at 11 a.m. Well, we want to wish you all a safe and happy and healthy holiday season. And thanks for tuning in today, and we'll see you in 2021.
Read the text.